It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and Adrian's drinking red wine in a balcony in Cyprus.
Not a balcony.
So, on a balcony in Cyprus, so I apologise for him.
In a villa. In a villa.
In a villa?
Not on
a balcony?
Yeah.
You're on a balcony?
No. Well, it's a big one.
You've got a pool. Where's your pool?
Anyway.
There's your pool. In front of a pool in Cyprus, 2,500 miles away, and he's only a little bit blurred. How are you, young man?
All right. Community service is going well. Been out here for a few days now, so just got a few jobs to finish off, and then I'll be back home, hopefully, next week. So, good.
Well, you're. I'd say your photos are looking good, but you're either sending me pictures of cans of beer or pictures of your wife looking befuddled up your choice in attire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had a nice evening out with metal detecting clobber all on. So, yeah. But more importantly, Dave, look at that.
Dry
5
red
litres.
tape. 5 litres. How much, Adrian?
€8.95.
What?
Anyway, we're not here to talk about wine. Yeah, cheap. This week, you've got a new van for metal detecting.
I have.
All
I've
your
got
machines in.
Or one of them, or two. Or a few of them. I got about 6 now, haven't I? Yes, it's delightful. I had a bit of a faux pas there today, but that's another tale. I'm not going to tell
we'll
it.
Show pictures of that later on. There's no live chat on YouTube.
I think that must be my YouTube, because I've actually shared it tonight to the Big Detecting Show YouTube channel, trying something a little bit different, because we want to migrate to the Big Detecting Show YouTube channel. So that might be why I'm a bit of a technophobe, so I'll have to get Shane to sort it out for me. Otherwise, everybody else is chatting on YouTube. They must be on the Peaky Finders, which is normal. Any badges in Cyprus? Oh, my Lord. Do you watch Ghosts, Adrian? Oh, Adrian. Do you watch Ghosts?
No.
You've never watched Ghosts?
No, but I'm worried now. Who said
Season
that?
4, the latest season. One of the episodes is all about badgers.
Bit concerned now. I didn't even think of Googling.
You're right. You've got. Can they swim? If they can swim, if they can't swim, you're all right. Pool behind you.
Just a bit disconcerted now. Andrew said that because they're probably bigger, a lot bigger, like bears.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm going to Google that. I'm going to write that down because if there are any, I'm coming home.
And you've been listening to a nice audio book on your travels as well.
Yes, the accidental detectorist from, was it Nigel who was on the show last week? I'll tell you what, the accidental detectorist is on Amazon and somewhere else, but I downloaded it on Audible, and listen to it. He defines our hobby really, really well. Really, really well. And all the little things we take for granted in this great hobby, he just relays it and says how fantastic it is. And he also says how it is as opposed to, what we think it is as a hobby. It's really good. I recommend it. Really do. And we don't get any payback from him, do we, Dave, or anything? It's just a really good book.
Absolutely.
None whatsoever. Haven't even had a copy. I had to pay for it, but I don't mind.
Do you know? I think the thing with the live chat might be you have to be a certain amount of people subscribing to get the benefit of live chat, and I haven't got that benefit, so that'll be why.
Well, it's probably not a bad thing, is it? I mean, although Philip Wills is. Well,
They're on the Peaky Finders, the normal one.
Ah, right. Okay. So subscribe if you're watching to the Big Detecting Show YouTube channel, and then we can have live chat, which would be good.
And also, I've made a little banner to run at the bottom of the screen. Look at that. Can you read that? It says, sign up for our newsletter for free competitions, guest information, and special offers at www.bigdetectingshow.com. Now, if anybody did sign up a few weeks ago, I actually jumped the gun before Adrian actually set it up. So don't forget to re-sign up, and we will have, hopefully, our first competition coming up, which is for the newsletter subscribers only, in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes. So if you subscribe, you'll get an automatic email on the offers and who's on the show, and you'll automatically be entered into the competition, Dave. How cool's that?
In it.
So, yeah, just do it once. And then...
well, we were supposed to be having two guests on tonight.
in the chat.
Oh, sorry, Adrian, you're breaking up and I missed. Start again if you're there. Adrian? Oh, your hand's on your head. There you are. Right, you're back.
I'm only 2,500 miles away.
Okay, you're back. Hey, he's back. Shall we bring tonight's guest on? We were supposed to be having two guests tonight. Tom Dempster, Ottis Arms, and Chris Rogers, Addicted to Bleeps. But unfortunately, Chris hasn't been able to make it this evening, and hopefully will join us in the very near future. So let's bring on tonight's guest. Good evening, Tom. How are we? Hi, Tom. Tom.
Oh dear.
Tom, are you 2,500 miles away as well? Got no sound, Tom. Anybody who knows how to read lips, if you could communicate to us in the chat and we can tell you what Tom's saying.
Oh dear, look, he's panicking.
Tom, if you can hear us, log off and then log back in again. I'll tell you what, I'll remove him from the screen.
Yeah.
He's back. Here he is.
There we go. We'll change. I was running it through the P4, but I've gone straight to phone now, so we'll do it the old school way.
That meant nothing to me. What's P4?
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Podcast and recording type thing.
Got you. Well, we've got you all now anyway. We don't need to get you a piece of paper and writing on it. Tom, how are we?
I'm very well. How are you guys?
Knackered. Always knackered.
Yeah.
And okay for some, I see, because
I'm all right.
Living it up in hot climates.
Drinking copious amounts of red
community
wine.
Service, Tom. Community
Fantastic,
service, unfortunately. So it all looks good. But I'm in a youth hostel at the moment.
It looks arduous.
Share 17 other people. So it's not. Yeah. So I've got to clean the pool shortly. But it's 10 o'clock out here. Gone 10 o'clock. It's only 8 o'clock in Britain, isn't it? So yeah. But once I get this out of the way, I'll be able to get home and get out detecting.
When you were sending me pictures this morning of you drinking beer and now you're drinking red wine, why aren't you like singing and dancing and such like?
I don't know.
You've got nothing, have you? Got nothing.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway. Yes. So it's nice you came on tonight, Tom, because I bumped into you, a month ago at the Joan Allen rally.
Which is that long ago?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Heat wave, wasn't it? It was hot. It was beautifully hot. And look at where you are now. Well, you're in Scotland, so it's probably raining.
Yeah. So I drove down there pretty much non-stop. I didn't really stop, so it was about 11, 12 hours. Got out the van at the other end, and I might as well be in Cyprus because the heat hit me. I'm not used to it. It was far too hot for me. So it took me a couple of days to acclimatise.
What? It's, in all honesty, seriously.
Yeah, about 12 hours. So I couldn't be any further away up here, I don't think.
Did you stop for a wee?
No, I stopped just south of London for fuel and for pee, and then kept going. So I literally just did it about 11 hours, and then the last sort of 40 odd minutes or 30 minutes into Lenham.
Wow. And those who don't know, would you mind saying a little bit more about the Joan Allen rally?
O'Nally
was on.
Joan
Alley. No, Joan Alley. That's a dancing club formed in 1987, based in Romford. For those who don't know, explain a bit more about the Joan Allen rally.
So the Joan Allen event is a sort of sister company to Joan Allen. So they put on smaller events throughout the year, but the Heart of Kent rally was designed to be a sort of bigger, more punchy rally. And the last year was quite successful. So this year we're all looking forward to it and made it a bit bigger than it normally would be, with some extra surprises that we'll probably talk about later on. And it just turned out to be a really hot and great event. The ground was dry and hard like everywhere else. But yeah, it's just good to see old faces and get everyone together again, and new faces as well, people quite new to detecting. But yeah, it's some quite exciting times, as you well know, because you were there as well.
Yeah, and how do people get to go on that rally, like next year's?
So if they're looking for next year, they can go on to there's several ways. They can call the shop, or they can go online on Facebook and go to Joan Allen page, or there's a Joan Allen events page as well, which is where everything's posted on. So if they go on to Facebook and put in Joan Allen events, that's where they need to be to see what's going on. You've set a trend now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheers.
Yeah, no, I think it was interesting land, should I say, coming from Essex to Kent was only like 40 minutes. But there are a lot of geodes and fossils and things in the ground on the surface, weren't there, which led to someone finding something.
Those round balls of flint, after day one, everyone was paying a lot of attention to them, weren't they?
Well, I found one. Do you remember what I said to you?
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, someone. Boy wonder.
There's first world problems happening right there, aren't there?
best thing that's ever happened on the show.
That's not a green screen, is it?
Well done, boy.
At least he's got something on. What was I saying? Yes. So I found one of those geodes. Sorry. You retard, Tom.
He's just, he's called Tom. You can't say that to Tom.
Oh, no, not you, Tom. Sorry. My son's called Tom. He's named after you, actually, Tom. But that's another story. That's another story. We won't go there. Yeah, a lot of these geodes, and I found one, didn't I, about that big. And I said to you and Chris Rogers, I said, oh, I've got a signal off this, but it's something inside it. And both of you just looked at me like, really? I said, no. I took it out and smashed it up. But you're right, Dave.
Your son's broke me.
Yeah, I just randomly jumped in the pool like you do. But yeah, the ground was quite hard, quite rocky. And the guy who found was it Ambiance Gallic status, wasn't it? Yeah. Very 50, 60 AD, weren't they, or BC? It makes me laugh because they were all on the surface, weren't they? I don't know if we got a picture of them, Dave. Have we? Poor old Dave.
We will have in a minute.
Yeah, Chris and I were literally heading over. We just released them, so we'd done the brief and said, right, off you go and do whatever, which fields. And we were just sort of sauntering over to that field when we got the shout on the radio. I think it was only 40 minutes into day one of the first dig. So we jumped in one of the Marshall's 4x4s and we drove over there. He actually had his seats folded down because he had all his kit. So Chris and I are in the back trying to record, all folded into the back of his 4x4, and took a short journey over there. And Tony, I think his name was, if I remember rightly. And there he was with, we were the first ones there with his hands shaking, holding up one of what turned out to be 35 gold status. And he said, I think I've found a horde. And I said, I think you have, Tony, yeah. So, yeah, absolutely stunning. But sat on the surface, Tom Luckin, the Joan Allen archaeologist, has just on the Joan Allen website just written a whole blog about it, and he puts it into much more detail than I could ever do. But he believes that last year it was ploughed up, and this ball, the geode of flint, of which had been used as a piggy bank in essence, had sat on the surface. And as the farmer had attempted to disc it a couple of weeks ago, ready for the event happening, the discs had just smashed it. But as the archaeologist, Tom and I were working through it, we didn't realise actually that it was originally there. It is, I think that's a photo I took actually. Didn't realise that it was actually in the flint. We thought it possibly would have been the top of a pot and a horde, but no, it was only at the end as it was excavated. We saw 2 or 3 of these status sort of fused inside some bits of flint, and we pieced it together. You can see there in the picture you put up, Dave, that we've taped it up, and there it was. It was, yeah, quite staggering.
Beautiful. And they were war payments, weren't they? Those coins.
Yeah,
so war. So you can only just think.
There's Tom's blog is fantastic. It's well worth a read. So there's what word am I looking for? This natural springs there, and you think possibly it would have been some sort of offering. And they had no intention of actually going back for those coins that had been placed there to have been left there. But yeah, 35. Now, normally those stater hordes come in an even number, I'm told. So whether there's one still stray in that field somewhere, who knows?
I've just seen another fantastic image of... just found another fantastic image of Joan Allen I'm going to have to share as well. Very nice image. Just wait a minute. You'll like this image. It's Joan Allen. That is Joan Allen. Never heard of it, but that's Joan Allen.
The original. Yeah.
Oh, no. Famous actress. Yeah. I think Google Metal Detector is better than Google her. But, yeah. How long have you been dealing with Joan Allen, Tom, out of interest?
Oh, quite a few years now. So it kind of, so Luke and I were friends, Luke Mahoney and I were friends for quite some time, and then it kind of just evolved from there, really. So originally it was them just supporting my group, and Joan Allen had been fantastic and looked after us all the way through, and then I was doing a bit more for them and a bit for them, and yeah, here I am today. So the event side of things, normally I don't get a last minute thing for me this year, sort of jumping in and helping out and doing bits and bobs. But yeah, quite a few years now I've been involved with them.
That didn't work as well, Adrian, because you're actually frozen, so it didn't work.
Say again, sorry.
It's back in the pool. It's quite warm out here. I shouldn't say it really, but yeah. So, how did you meet Chris? Was it through Joan Allen or
Tinder? No. Yeah. So
no, Grinder. Chris is on Grinder. Not that I know.
No.
But
yeah. So obviously, Chris has been hooked up with Joan Allen for quite a while as well. But he was always doing. He's addicted to bleeps and I've got a huge following. And I sort of sat in the background doing the blogs and the testing and bits and bobs. And then progressively, we just ended up sort of coming together and doing bits and bobs. And as we go forward, we've got a few more things coming up as well that we'll be doing together. So, but Chris, you know, Chris, he's a great guy, and he's really easy to sort of work with and be around. So he keeps it all sort of light-hearted and fun.
He's very well spoken about in the book by Nigel, The Accidental Detectorist.
Yeah.
The way he portrays him is good for the hobby, I should say. People who pick that book up who don't know anything about our hobby, the way Chris and Nigel portray it in writing, it's not just about going out there and finding treasure and, you know, you don't find anything, go home. It's the countryside, the peace, relaxing and everything. And I think the way Chris portrays that and Nigel writes it, it makes us realise, oh, wow, we're so lucky to have this as a hobby. It really does.
I mean, it's a fantastic book. I'm probably a third of the way through it on. I've downloaded it as a audiobook. But yeah, it just got me from the beginning. So I tuned in last week. In fact, you had him on the show last week, didn't you? So,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I watched it. But yeah, it's if people haven't read it, I completely recommend it because he does it almost like an outsider looking in. The way it's written, it's fantastic. And the spin that he puts on it. So, but how he describes Chris in the book is pretty much how Chris is. He's just got that sort of upbeat, positive look on everything that you do. So you can't help but sort of be happy and in a good mood when you're around him.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy. Shame he can't be on here tonight, but I'm no doubt he'll be back on again soon. So going back to detecting, because that's what this show's about predominantly. You've had a multitude of machines, Tom, and when you came on, it must be a year ago, Dave. Tom came on.
Yeah, about that now. Yeah.
It's a while back. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about Quest then, I think. No, what were we talking about? We're talking about all the different machines, but the Quest, you recently did a video on the Quest Q30. I can't remember I watched it on YouTube, and you said something like, don't forget or something. What was the title? It was quite a good title. It was like, I can't remember.
One that I'm obviously going to have to watch.
Was it a recent one or an old video?
Yeah, it was on about a week or two ago.
Something like returning to an old friend or something like that.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's a fun because you field test for Joan Allen, I field test for Treasure Hunting magazine, and when I got the Q30, I had a Q40 about 5 years ago, and they had a lot of problems with the coils, and I think I had an issue with the coil. It was overly sensitive. You had to drop sensitivity below half, I think, to get it to work. And then when I got the Q30, I was almost like, hopefully it'll be all right. And then it's one of my favourite machines, and it is yours as well, isn't it? I understand.
Yeah, I talk about that quite a lot. I've written about it, and I've not really used it much up until recently. But yeah, it's not the best machine out there. But in terms of its price range, I think it is. It's got faults like other machines, but there's just something quite refreshing about using it. It's one of the few machines that grabbed my attention, and I actually enjoyed using everything from the way it sort of sits in your arm to how quick. I think it's speed. It's just a punchy, quick machine. And if anyone's ever spent time using XP stuff, it reminds me a lot of XP in terms of its sort of response. And I just right off the bat liked it, and I've had it for well over a year now. I had it when they first came out, along with all the other Quest machines. And if I go away anywhere and I'm not reviewing and I'm not doing videos, I'll literally just take that if it's just me, just because I enjoy it. So I think that speaks volumes when I've got all these other machines sort of sat there waiting to be used.
I think because it's waterproof, it's folds up really small, battery lasts a long time, and it finds stuff, doesn't it, at the end of the day. So, and it's only 300 and odd quid, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's packages now. I know when I first started using it, because out with Joan Allen, my group up here, we do digs and events and bits and bobs. And I first turned up with this thing, and everyone was sort of ridiculing and laughing at it and what you're doing with that thing. But it held its own, and it still does hold its own with other machines. And quickly people sort of got interested in it. And there's quite a lot of people using Quest machines now.
Yeah, I think they're going to become quite popular. I mean, there's other machines out there, but I think to get a machine that surprised me, I was quite impressed with it. And I gave it to Dave because I thought he'd be able to use it, but hey ho. You struggle a bit, don't you, Dave? I don't know how, because you just turn it on and
I just couldn't get it.
It might be it might be. I don't know. I don't know how.
Tell you what, next time I take it out, I'll video call you and you can do me a walkthrough.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or I can watch Tom's videos.
Oh, I'll watch those.
Yeah. So Tom, the Joan Allen event, they launched the Manticore in the UK first place.
Yeah, exciting times. It was nice for Joan Allen. Minelab had chosen that event to launch what is looking to be quite an exciting machine as well. Chris and I got after the day of the launch. I think it was a Saturday, was it? Yeah. That evening we went out with their engineer, Minelab's engineer, and spent a bit of time testing it. So I think we were actually first to get a greasy little mitts on it. It was didn't get long enough to form a proper impression, but from the time that we had it, I think it could be something quite special.
Yeah, I saw you and Chris had a little play. I've had a little play with it as well at Detector. It's very powerful. It's not an Equinox at all. It's got completely new circuitry, different shaft, different grip, different arm cuff and everything. It's going to be a lot of money. Whether it's a CTX 3030 replacement, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if Minelab will say that, but...
No, I think you've got to look at it just because of what they've done. I was asked, I had an event, we had a little dig here about 2 weeks ago now, and a lot of guys were asking me about it. They've seen the video and said, oh, what do you think? Is it a CTX? Is it I think you have to put it in a league of its own, because there's nothing that's drawing that amount of power out there really on the market that's an all-round machine. And you can pull as much power from a machine as you want. It's balancing the coil is the hard part. And I think that's where a lot of the work's gone into, is getting a coil that won't start creating a resonance and will be stable with that much power coming through it. So yeah, quite exciting. But just looking at it right off the bat, picking it up, you probably notice it's so light and easy to swing. The shaft feels...
Yeah, I was very confused when I picked it up. It seemed like it's lighter than an Equinox, just a little bit, but it seemed as light as a Deus.
Yeah,
and I don't. But it isn't. It isn't. It's heavier.
No,
but Dave, you held it, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, we talking about the same thing here.
No, not Friday night.
All right, okay.
We're talking the Manticore. You
yes, I had to play the Manticore. Yeah.
What did you think?
It was nice. Obviously, I looked at the screen and it made lots of noises that I didn't quite understand, and little blurry bits in the middle and stuff. But weight-wise, it was delightful. I'll give it that, because it's all carbon fiber, isn't it?
Yeah.
You having a wee?
No, I've just spilled wine everywhere. Sorry. Yes. Carry on.
I think it's more interesting watching you with your first world problems, people jumping in the pool and spilling wine. But what we're talking about,
it's like this every week.
I think that even though that, and you're right, it's not that much lighter than the Equinox, but when you swing it and you get to the end of the swing and you return that swing, there's just no resistance. They put a lot of effort in it, and I know the engineer, when I said it, was quite happy, because they spent a lot of time in the ergonomics of it and trying to get it to to be nicely balanced and hopefully stay together and be a sturdy machine. So yeah, I've got high hopes for it. I can't wait to get my hands on one properly.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one, isn't it? Because if you've got, well, 1,500 quid, £2,000, we don't know yet. The dollar and the pound, it might go up or down. You've got the Deus 2, you've got the Manticore, you've got the Legend, which is like a different level, but you've got some good new machines out there. It's quite a tricky one. I think if you're going to buy the Manticore, you're a Minelab enthusiast, and you're looking for a machine that's going to last you at least 4 or 5 years. And I think what's interesting is the 50% more power, not depth, but power. So that is going to be a bit of a game changer, along with the 2D screen, because there's going to be loads of videos of people saying, "Oh, this said it was iron, but it was a hammered," or next to a horseshoe, but it looks like this. So it's going to reevaluate. Whereas we had tones and target IDs, now we've got tones, a bit like the CTX, really, but on a lower scale. It's going to open up a can of worms, I think, for people.
Talking about power, Jonathan Burgess has just asked, and I'm sure one of you two can answer this. Can you tell me if it's okay to charge the Deus 2 on a coil on a power bank when you're out in the field, i.e. camping?
I would say yes, but I would also say the currents used by the Deus 2, there's been a few people saying if you use a car charger, power pack, mains, it can take longer, or I don't know. You can, but I think they're designed for mains. Yeah, I would have thought you could. I'm no professional on that.
It won't do it any harm anyway. You might not get a full charge out of it, but I don't think it'll do it any damage.
Sorry to interject. No. Anyway, I would have lost that otherwise.
Why would you charge the coil before the control box? Because the coil goes. Yeah, I suppose. Never had that problem. I normally sleep in someone's van on the front seats, don't I, Dave? And just use another machine. Have you had the Legend, Tom?
Yeah, I've actually just. Well, as we speak, it's uploading the video. I've had the Legend since it came out. Didn't do a huge amount with it initially. I was just busy doing other things. And I've used it loads recently. And initially I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay and it's good and it's this and it's that. But I'm starting to warm to it now. And I've sort of got it set how I like it. And I've had pretty much every time I've been out over the last few weeks, I've had a hammered coin every time. I've just done a video comparing it to the Equinox, not in a which one's better, but as in a here's where I see the difference being. And I know it's going to wind a few people up and there'll be Equinox fans that will be like, oh, rubbish. But all round, I don't think there's much in it between the Nox and the Legend. They're both better in different respects and in different fields. But as an all-round package, I think it's great. I really like it.
Yeah, it threw me. No, it threw me because when I first got it, last year, November. No, this year. I don't know. I had it after the Deus 2 and the Root Satrex, and at first I didn't get on with it, and then Dilek and her team did the updates, and blimey, it changed it. Absolutely changed it.
Pre-update, it wasn't that impressive.
No.
After the update, a completely different machine. Different machine.
And they've just announced this week that you can now purchase it cheaper without the wireless headphones as well.
A few things going on at the moment. They've got their, I can't remember what it's called now. There's got a different package that comes with it. So they've got a few different levels and options that you can sort of buy it at to suit your budget. But yeah, no, I'd recommend it. I think it's a great machine.
Yeah.
Do you know, Tom, it always surprises me how Scottish you are, but you don't sound Scottish.
So I've got a really bizarre accent. so I spent quite a bit of my youth in Canada, and then obviously my job is I've been down in Suffolk and all over the place, and so I've got a really weird accent. Once I've had quite a few beers, it sort of comes back a bit. But
when you say Canada, you don't say A at the end of your sentence, so I wouldn't have got that one.
So I'm not a proper Canadian, but I was, again, amazing country, loved it out there. I didn't want to come back, but my visa came to an end, and I thought I'll come back and renew it, and I ended up. I'm going back over 20 years now,
Wow.
but I ended up in the military, and yeah.
Have you got?
So
have you got a kilt? You got a kilt?
So I used to. And in between sort of moving houses and going all over the place, technically yes, but I couldn't put my hands on it. I don't know where it is. So, yeah.
I have.
Lost. Yeah, I know you have, Dave. Yeah, because you got a bit of
Sexy
Scotch
legs.
in you. No, Scotch in you. Scottish
Yes,
in you. I mean.
I'm a Byron. I'm also a landowner as well in Scotland, so I'm allowed.
So you're allowed. Yeah, excellent. I think you only need to own a spare yard, don't you? And you can
Yes, and
have an honorary title.
that's what I'm a laird of Glencoe, don't you know?
Excellent.
Well,
have you been to see your patch land? Have you?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to put a Ben and Holly's Magic Kingdom castle on it, and then rent it out as an Airbnb.
So tell me about you're entering into van life. Tell me about the van. It's the way forward.
Well, I've been after one for years, Tom. Why are you
show
laughing?
a picture.
Why are you
I'm going to
laughing?
show a picture. I'm going to
Don't
show
the picture. I'm not sharing it. It's up to me.
No,
Oh.
I can share.
Yeah, we need to see the picture.
Van life is good. I rented one for a couple of weeks for Detector and Rodney Cook, and it is the future. And I've been after one for years, so I recently bought a Vauxhall Vivaro last week. There was an incident today which we won't talk. Well, Adrian wants to talk about.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Well, you see, it's a lot of money buying a van, and you know, you want to do certain things right at the very start of the van. So things like this happen.
I don't know why I'm laughing. That's terrible. But
there's another picture Adrian's going to show now, no doubt.
Oh, computer says no. Oh,
so I decided to do my first ever oil change on my own, and didn't realise there was a massive hole in the bucket. So it's all over the road and therefore all over me.
And did you trip in some sort of comedy style sketch?
No. I was just I'm me. So it was coming down the road. My road's on just a little bit of an incline. So it was coming towards me somewhat. So I was rolling in it. It was like
I thought you'd fallen
yes,
in it.
I'm actually being barracked in the chat by my friend Shane, Staffordshire Searcher, who is a mechanic, and told me he would do it, but me being a stubborn prick decided to do it alone.
I'm the same. I do everything. I do all my work on the vehicles myself, mainly because I'm too tight to pay anyone else to do it.
Well, that's the world's getting a pricey place, so I thought I'll just do it myself.
Vans is just, it doesn't matter what sort of sport or hobby you do. If it's outdoor related, vans are just the number one thing to have, because you apart from the space, you've got a mobile bedroom, you've got room to get changed, you can sit in there when it's raining. It just makes life so much more fun and easier, I think. And then you can go away on weekends and you can live out the back of it. I think it's awesome.
Well, that's it. You know, when I'm taking all the magazines down to the events and when I'm taking all the stock and everything else that we have going on, it didn't fit in a Corsa. That wasn't happening. So, upgrade van. Planned it all out. Got it in the head. Got to wait for Shane to come and build it with me, I suppose, because I'll get told off and break it otherwise.
It's surprising how much
like
you get after, isn't it? I went. I was down at the shop at Long Milford, Joan Allen shop, early August. I can't remember when it was. And where they store the kit is sort of some of it separate from the shop, and we did some runs because I had my van down there, and we had it sort of loaded to the gunnels. And I had no idea you could actually get that many metal detectors and other ancillaries in the back of a small van. It was it was quite impressive. Chris Patterson that works down there, we did a sort of semi-emergency stop, and he got hit in the back of the head with a GPX 5000 on the way back as well. So I hadn't loaded it. It was in a box, so he was all right. It's fine. No sense, no pain.
Yeah, I'd like a van. I might get one next year.
I've been really loving Chris Rogers' van life videos from the start, watching that progress.
Yeah. Have you seen inside his van?
No, he was going to take us down at Detectable. I think he was actually going to bring us some sweets to coax us in, but we lost you all.
Yeah, no, Sorry, go on.
Sorry. He said he had some puppies in the back, and I went and had a look. There were none there, but the bed looked lovely.
He said, so when we first met, he was talking about Haribo or something in his van, and he kept saying, "Come in and I'll give you some Haribo." There was no Haribo.
He does that.
There was Rohypnol, but there was no Haribo.
Something about our secret. I don't know what it was about, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, poor. We can't say that because he can't defend himself. Not that he would. But I think a van is the way to go in the hobby.
No, it is.
The only problem is if you keep all your detectors in there, make sure you've got good locks, because there's like a few grand in there, isn't there? At the end
and especially when you sort of go out and you're doing videos and things, and you've got like in the back, I'll have 2 or 3 detectors. You've got a handful of pinpointers, the drone, the OM5, your sort of gimbal thing, and you've got thousands of pounds worth in the back. It's quite worrying when you park it up.
Do you have time to detect?
Not really, no. The videos are all just sort of CGI. I'm not actually out there doing it.
No, Chris. No, not Chris. Chris was the other fella who hasn't come. Tom.
Yeah.
Last time you came on, you introduced us to your wonderful. Everybody knew who your wonderful dog was. I can't remember his name because I'm like that. Wonderful set of wheels that was created for him to get about. Carried your spade everywhere, and sadly he passed away.
Yeah. He went in, when did he go? August last year, 16th of August last year. I had him put to sleep. We'd gone on a big road trip in the van, and we did the whole, pretty much top to bottom of the UK, like 12 days on the road, detecting right down to the south coast, went everywhere. And he loved it. And then we got back, and I think we only took back 2 or 3 days, and he was tired and had enough. So, yeah, took him to the vets, and that was the end of an era, bless him.
Yeah.
But you've got a new dog.
Well, yeah. So that was it. I think so. The last one I think was my 4th German Shepherd. And I said, anyone that owns dogs, I know you've got a dog agent, and it's the hardest thing ever saying bye to your dog. And I said, I'm not doing that again. I'm not having another dog. I'm done. No more German Shepherds. And it lasted about, I think, 3 months. And I started looking to try and rehome one. So I thought I'll get an old one and give it a home. And I ended up doing the opposite. I ended up rehoming a young dog. He was full size, but he was just sort of under a year old. The family, lovely family, but they were moving to the States. They worked for an offshore company and obviously couldn't take the dog with them. And long story short, just after Christmas last year, I ended up coming back with another German Shepherd. So, but this one doesn't carry a spade, and I tried hard. He loves detecting, and he loves the running around and digging, but he will not carry a spade. So
it's funny, isn't it? You get dogs. How you like German Shepherds? I like collies, border collies. So I'm on my 4th or 5th now since I've grown up, and I didn't want to get another one. Mine passed 2 years ago, I think 2 years ago, probably about now actually, and I didn't want another one, and then we got another one, and that was wrong, so that had to go back. That had problems, but we then got another one, and where the other one was weak, this is better. Where the other one was better, this is weak. But my new dog comes out detecting with me, and she's no more than 10-15 foot away. But I think I wrote an article field testing the legend. I found a hammered, Well, I didn't. I did. I've got a lovely target because the Legend, when it finds silver, oh my lord, doesn't it blow your ears off when you got it open, like fully open, like it's proper banging. So I got this signal, started digging down. The dog started digging. I thought, this is quite good. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is good. So dog's digging, and then I put the pinpointer in, nothing. Put the coil over, nothing. Oh God, I looked. There's just dirt everywhere, about 20 foot spread. I'm like, look, the dog's just going, ha. I'm like, oh God. And in the end, it took me about another 20 minutes to find it. And it was a hammered, which a bit bent and crusted over. But the dog loves it and she won't run off. And for me to have a dog that detects with me is brilliant. It's nice going on your own, but when you got someone to talk to who doesn't answer back, like my metal detecting mate, he don't answer back because I'll tell him shut up, but he's probably in the chat. But it's nice to have. I don't know. It's a bit like, have you got children, Tom? Yeah. So it's a bit like kids, but they don't argue or moan or need a car seat or constantly need the toilet or another fruit shoot or some sweets. It's just a dog, and it walks with you, it detects with you, and you get home, you crack open a beer, go through your finds, and the dog lays down and sleeps.
And they're just happy to be out there, aren't they? With you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Dogs and detecting go well if you got the right ones.
The two of them are completely different dogs. So the last one, Digger Dog, the one in the wheelchair, bless him, he looked like the most angelic, lovely, sweet thing. But to be honest, he couldn't be any different from Vinny, the one I've got now. So Digger Dog was fine with people he knew, but any strangers that used to reach for him, he would bite. I spent 11 years of my life sort of like apologising to people because he was just an absolute idiot. And he looked great with a spade. And 90% of the time he was good and he would give it me back, but 10% it wasn't happening and he would hold on to it. And I used to, because of that, always carry a spare spade because often he wouldn't give me back. So
really,
so it looked great, but
Tom, can you just tell us?
Opposite.
Can you tell us a story about how when you got your new dog and he jumped out of your truck or whatever, and your friend saw him, and I love the terminology your friend said. He said, because your old dog had no back legs or the legs didn't work, did they? So could you just tell us that? Because I like this story.
Yeah, so the backstory on Digger Dog is he developed a myelopathy, which means his spinal cord progressively shut down over time. So he became paralysed further and further up his spine. It didn't cause him any pain, so he ended up with the wheels, so he could still come out and do things. And it's a purpose-built wheelchair, and it didn't phase him one bit. But it was actually I've moved house since, but it was my old neighbour used to talk to Digger Dog over the fence, and Digger Dog would shout at him and try and bite him like he would normally do. And then, because I spend a lot of time away and he spends quite a bit of time away, he worked on the Bristow search and rescue helicopters. So he worked shifts, and there was big chunks of time where we wouldn't see each other. So a few months had passed, and I came back with the van, and he was in the garden, and he was talking over the fence, and I opened the door, and out jumps Vinny, the new German Shepherd. And he sort of had this shocked look on his face, and he went, "You've mended him," thinking that somehow some biblical miracle had happened and I'd fixed my paralysed dog. But no, but they look very similar. I just sort of let him down gently and said, "No, this is a new one, mate." So bless him. But he genuinely
Did part of you think, yes, I did with Lord Jesus, or want to say, I would have done?
I went back inside afterwards and kicked myself because I could have rolled with that for a long time. I should have just went, you
could have done.
It was, but yeah, I missed the trick there. But I was more shocked at his face. I was like, no, bless him. It was a funny moment. But no, you're right. Actually, last time we spoke, Chris and I were wandering out of a field, and you were dashing off because something had happened to your dog. I think, isn't it?
Yeah, we were at Joan Allen, and I left probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. My dog daughter said it was limping, and I thought, oh no, straight away insurance and all that, and it just sprained its leg. It's only 7 months old or 6 months then, so it sprained its ankle, but she's all right now. She's fine. But yeah, it's lovely because Dave, you had a dog, didn't you?
Still got our dog, but my dog
about a year
February.
ago.
No, about February. Nanny had to get put down. Yeah.
Is your dog go detecting with you, or
no? She's a twat.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, but it's I saw someone.
It's my wife's dog. We don't get on. I don't really like her.
Oh dear. Oh, but someone put in the chat how they can get dogs to sniff silver. It's true because Gary Blackwell was trying that, wasn't he, with his dogs? Because he's got German Shepherds, Alsatians. Oh, won't even get there on Alsatians, German Shepherds while the name changed. That's an interesting fact, isn't it?
World War II thing, isn't it?
Yep. What type of dog you got? German Shepherd. What? Oh, sorry, I've got an Alsatian. For those who don't know, that's why it's called a Alsatian now, because of World War II. I think I'm right. Am I right, Tom?
You are right, yeah. And originally, back in the 1800s, when that breed was sort of created, it was originally called the German Shepherd Wolf Dog. And they dropped the wolf part of it. So the purists amongst the owners will still call them a GSD, a German Shepherd dog. And then other people have still got the sort of post-war hangover of Alsatian. And then there's others that think they're two separate breeds, but clearly not the same thing. But yeah, so I refer to them as German Shepherd, Alsatian German Shepherd. Yeah.
Are they called Alsatians because they're from Alsatia?
Actually,
I think they Alsace, isn't it, or wherever it is, or somewhere on the border. Yeah, I think it's something to do with Alsace, or they were close to the border, the French border, or something.
Anyway, we're talking dogs and malarkey.
Yeah.
Tom, what's the current machine you're playing with at the moment for Joan Allen?
Has been recently, but the Legend, just because I didn't give it the time. When I write reviews, and you're probably much the same, I won't just unbox it and then do a review a week later. I like to use it over a period of months, and I hadn't used the Legend as much as I'd like up until recently. So I've really sort of hammered the Legend and been using it. So at the moment, that's my go-to. Possibly there's some newish ones coming my way to have a play with. But yeah, the Legend is my one I'm sort of testing and writing about and doing bits and bobs at the moment.
I played with the Legend for probably at least 3 or 4 months. Once all the Deus 2s, Atrex and all that had come out, there was quite a run of them. And the Legend I got that last, and I've had that. Well, Dave, I got it. It was at Rodney Cook and Detector. I took it out of Rodney Cook, didn't I? Yeah, the Legend. And Detectable. It's on a par with the Quest, if you know what I mean. It's quite easy to use, turn on, and compact, waterproof, and the recovery speed is good. I wouldn't say it's up there with more expensive machines, but when I say more expensive, I'm talking about twice the price. But value for money, as long as you open it up. I had to totally open it up.
And that's where I was wrong at the beginning. I like to run everything really hot, just so I'm hearing everything, and it's just at sort of full power. And that's how I run it. And it's transformed it for me. But what it has got, I can only think of one other machine that's got it, and I think it's every machine should have it, and that is a clock. It's so handy being able to look down and just see what time it is, especially if you push for time, because you can lose hours in the field, can't you, detecting? And the Legend's got it. So why other machines don't do it? For me, that's a selling point. I think it's fantastic.
Well, it's quite interesting as well, the amount of hours you've used it. On the review I did for Treasure Hunting, I think it was last month or this month. I don't read my own reviews. I write them, but I don't read them when they're in the magazine. it was nice to show. I'd clocked up something like 20 days, which based on 24 hours, 20 days and 6 hours is quite a lot of detecting time for a new machine. And it was nice to be able to show that. I don't know if I zoomed in and showed it on the article, but I proper gave it its money's worth. And it going forward, when you buy a machine off eBay or wherever in the future, which I think under the current climate is going to become quite popular at the moment, people wanting money, sadly, with what's going on, you're going to be able to see how many hours only been used once. And you look at it, it's like 40 hours. Oh, no, mate. Or, even those batteries, which brings me on to something I've been thinking about. Anyone in the chat who's either looking at or buying a new car, a second-hand car, sorry, or trading in their second-hand car, the prices have gone through the roof because there's a shortage. And I'm wondering if like detectors are going to start going up, used machines are going to start going up in value soon based on not supply or demand, but because people are selling more machines. I don't know. I just wonder. There might be a lot of machines because manufacturers, there might be a microchips and circuit boards. There might be a delay, but I wonder if used machines might be going up in price soon. I don't know, like cars.
It's possible, isn't it? It's possible, especially if people are in a position where they can't pay the sort of premium for new machines. Then maybe would drive it up. But it's I often look to see what people are selling because you often see a trend when there's a new machine coming out as well. So people try and sell a machine to hopefully fund the new one and things. It's interesting watching them sort of come and go. Trends change on what's the latest thing.
When I tested the Manticore out, I think I wrote it in Treasure Hunting magazine. I asked the guy, the engineer, I said, have you had any supply chain issues? And he went, yeah, we've had a few, but we sorted it all now. And I thought, because they're developing a new machine, use that chip. Oh, we can't get it. Oh, this one's really good. Can't get it. Oh, what about this one? Oh, I can get it, but we can only get 500. So it could have an impact on new machines going forward. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I think where Minelab have the sort of upper hand on that is they're a big company and they can sort of demand and control things a bit better than perhaps some of the smaller brands can as well. So I think they can ride that wave a bit easier than some of the smaller manufacturers. But I'm sure it is going to affect other new machines coming out, or maybe delay them at least anyway.
Shane's just said one of the main reasons for chip shortages is because they've changed cars to a CAN bus system and the car now has up to 30 ECUs rather than the old school 1 or 2. Now, I know that from where I work. They've actually had to reroute things to get past the chip shortage into other ECUs.
30 ECUs?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, don't. Oh, dear. Oh, that's going to be a palaver in 5 years' time, isn't it? Absolute palaver. Tom, what's your favourite non-digital machine that you've got or use? So no digital display. No, just loads of knobs.
Knobs. I'm trying to think. What would I put? What would I say? I don't really know, to be honest. I've got a few machines that I think in my head are just, but all the ones that I really enjoy have got displays. There's a few nice ones out there, isn't there? There's people still sticking with some of the older ones that, because I could absolutely manage without a VDI, without a readout, because I never really look at the thing anyway. I was having a conversation online with someone about it just 2 or 3 days ago. I'm a tones person only. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I probably couldn't put my finger on just one. I probably couldn't put my finger on a machine all round.
No,
what,
I mean, this.
What would your
me, C-scope Well, actually, no. The what did I have? Oh, I've got to get the name right. Deep Tech Vista X. I had last year. 6 or 7 dials on it. No VDI. 2-tone. Oh, 8 AA batteries. And it was lovely. And my mate James, who I think he was running an Equinox 800 at the time, he was blown away. That was smashing it out. It was smashing it really good. And I've had, well, I've got a Gold Noble with it. I know you've got to walk over it and all that, and some beautiful things with it. But I really enjoyed that, and I've lent it to someone, but I'm hoping to get it back again soon. I think it's C-scope. I suppose I could go for gold. Gold mask. Yeah. There's, but then you could look at the one of Chris's favourite machines. Oh God, XP. Someone will say it in the chat.
Yeah, I know.
Fisher F2.
Yeah. Well, your Fisher F2 is a good machine. Yeah, Fisher F2. Yeah, which you've got, Dave, and you bought it from a boot sale, didn't you?
Yeah, 50 quid.
Yeah.
Have you like no display? It's a completely different sort of league of machine, but I love the GPX 5000. I've got one of those and think it's just an absolute weapon of a thing once you learn it. And that's obviously got no display. It's got a little readout thing, but you're not looking at it because that's down on the controller underneath. But yeah, so I prefer tones. Same as with the DS. I never even a lot of the time the DS1 had the controller on it. It would just be in my pocket. I wouldn't be looking at it. Not refill.
Yeah, sorry.
How many litres is that now?
Well, I've had it a few days, but €9 for 5 litres, and it's all right. It's good. It's local. I always drink local wine when I'm on holiday because I think it's.
I've got to say, Adrian.
I'm not on holiday. Sorry, community service.
The lights behind you in the distance. That's the beach front, isn't it?
That is Coral Bay. That's called Coral Bay.
There's a beautiful your pictures that you put on. Beautiful view.
Yeah, Coral Bay. Yeah. So Google it, Coral Bay, Cyprus. Yeah. So we're up in the mountains, away from everyone. So someone's trying to get to bed because it's currently 11 o'clock out here. They're trying to sleep.
Who's that?
But they've all gone to bed.
Lightweights.
That's mine.
What's it like having an audience?
Me?
Yeah.
What? We've got 3 people in the show, haven't we?
No, the 3 people who were sat there watching you watch the show.
They're not there now. I don't know where they're gone. Boy Wonder will probably jump in the pool in a minute.
Where's Badger anyway? Where's Badger living?
I'm thinking.
Oh, your Badger.
My Badger?
Your dog, you blurt.
Oh, oh shit. Oh yeah. Oh, she's all right. She's okay. No, the mother-in-law's got the dog, and father-in-law, so she's all good. But I do miss my dog a lot on holiday. I don't know, Tom. Do you go away and leave your dog with anyone, or
a lot of time away, working away and things? And yeah, because normally on a normal working day, Vinny will come to work with me as the digger dog. So yeah, when you go away, one of the best things coming back is that sort of welcome, isn't it? As you come in and they're all excited. And yeah, I hate leaving them. I'm going away again toward the end of this year for another 4 months, so it's a big old chunk to leave them. So,
where are you going? Or can't you tell us?
Service.
Top secret. Top secret.
Yeah, off to the Middle East again. So, and that's my last hurrah because I retire in July next year. So,
you're not 60 already, Tom.
No, but it's MOD, aren't you?
Yeah, so you're not seeing the grey hair. I'm getting there. And then I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing now and spend more time doing the the detector stuff. The military stuff is just like a job that gets in the way now of all the main stuff that I do. So, they're quite tolerant.
It's funny.
James says in the chat, Adrian, he might need that back, Adrian. This Deus one is a real pain.
No, James, his battery went in his coil. So he got a new battery. He fitted it. And he needs to contact either XP or Regtons or other people or whatever, because I think you need to disconnect it not disconnect it. What do I mean? Reassign the coil, because I think there's a bit of memory in the control box that causes confusion. But James, contact XP. They're lovely people. They make machines that last the Deus one, 12, 13 years next year. So it's not that old, mate.
Another nice comment, Adrian. Peter Kelly. I love my Fisher 1225 X Pro, which I bought from Joan Allen in 1996.
Christ, that's God, blimey. 25 years old. Oh, 26 years. Yeah.
So I just how long's the Equinox been out now? 4 or 5 years? I think I had the 2017 model. Whenever it came out, I had one of the very first ones, and it's only just have we put a new battery in it now, and it was still working, but it just wasn't holding charge like it used to. So I think, and for the hours I've got on it, it's so you'll see it in the new video. My Equinox is so worn out that when we were down in Kent, Minelab actually filmed it and took some photos of it because they've never seen one with such a patina on it and so worn out. So I think it's done well to last that long with its original battery, to be honest. So
yeah,
it's a bit like
it's one of those things that it's not new to the hobby, but the last 4 or 5 years inbuilt batteries.
Yeah.
And soon we'll probably have sealed batteries like mobile phones where you can't change them and they get thrown away. But they're not cheap, the new batteries, the lithium ion batteries. So I think, in the next 5-10 years' time, we possibly could be looking at more disposable machines. But I don't know how that fits in with the environmental malarkey.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say malarkey, but Seascope might bring out a bamboo detector with a solar panelled chargeable battery or something. I don't know.
You watch Seascope do that now. You've missed out, Adrian.
Yeah, you could have had a percentage of that.
Yeah, but there will be people. There's new and young people joining the hobby who care heavily, like a lot of people, about the environmental impact of detectors.
Will he put them in a hemp bag?
Hessian sack, Dave. Yeah.
But
it's true. It's true. I think it will. It's coming to us all, and I think it will come to our hobby very quickly.
Tom, I apologise for Adrian. He has too much red wine. He's starting to,
No.
All right, mate.
I do.
All right, mate.
All right. Environment. Anyway. Oh, Joe Webster's in the chat. Hello, Joe. You know Joe. Joe.
Do I know?
Security at Rodney Cook.
Oh, Brill Cream.
Yeah.
No, it's Brill Cream. Hiya, Brill Cream.
Fisher F2 runs on 2 9-volt batteries. Wondering if Keith Ellis. Wondering if that's running hot for its time. 2 9-volt batteries, lovely, nice and easy, nice and simple, nice and quick. Yeah, and they last 40 hours. The plastic is
plastic.
Paul B. Yes, the plastic is easily recyclable, but it's dependable on the colour. So, for example, shrink wrap on pallets, black.
No, he's on about the plastic in your metal detector.
Yes.
Is it already recycled to make it?
I don't know, but maybe next year it people might say it is, but certain plastics aren't easily recyclable. That's why Tesco's and Sainsbury's and whoever have got clear tops now on their milk, because
Sorry again, Tom. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm waffling on. I'm not an ergo environmentalist, but I think it's going to be a big selling point in the future with new people.
What happened? Did the plane that you were over there, did it just use solar power to get there? Wind,
Dave, I haven't been here for 3 years because of my carbon footprint. I couldn't come here because I've used it up. So the only reason I'm here is because I've just got enough. Waffling on. Anyway. Tom, have you been out detecting today at all?
Yeah. So I wanted to finish off the last few bits of the video I was doing for the Minelab Equinox and the Vanquish. So I snuck away from work early. And then for once, it's been miserable up here actually, but for once today the sun was out and shining. So I went out and had a bit of a play. Didn't find anything exciting. But most of it was just doing some little test bits and bits and bobs. So, but yeah, it was nice to get out. And if you find something good, it's a bit of a bonus. We were having a conversation about this, I think it was about a week ago. And for those of it that have been detecting, same for you guys, and there'll be a lot of people who'll relate to this. And over the years, you find some lovely, lovely things. You almost start to become a little bit envious of new people because they still have that excitement over everything that they find. But the more you find hordes and you find nicer and nicer things as time goes on, you're always looking for that fix of something better. And I sometimes envy those that are quite new to it, that are finding a Vicky Penny and are excited by it, if that makes sense.
I can see where you're coming from. For me, I've started twisting a bit and thinking I'm out in the country, beautiful fields, lovely nature, and I'm enjoying my day. And if I find something, it's a bonus. But I get where you're coming from. When people first start in the hobby and find a sixpence from 1953, they're like, oh, or something. And I think, that's lovely. But it doesn't quite do it for me now. It's a lovely find. But just getting out in the field and just having the hobby we've got and being there, for me, is, we're lucky. That's what you've got to think of.
So we run some digs up here, some sort of smaller ones, and I put one on a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember now, but it was nice because a lot of the guys from the other clubs from up north, from Inverness and the Highlanders, come down to dig up all our gold and silver. And it's not really about the detecting; it's about everyone gets together and boots get opened at the back of cars and there's bottles of whiskey get passed around, and it's more about the banter and sitting around and enjoying it than it is actually getting out there and digging. And anything that you find on top is a bonus. And I think it's a great hobby. I think we're lucky to be able to do what we do.
Did any of the Highlanders come with like blue stuff on the face?
Yeah, come down and pillaging all our good finds down in Mauritius. No, they're a good bunch. They always clean up as well when they come down. They'll always find the good stuff. In fact, one of the guys, Ken, the other week, he found a beautiful little, I think it's on my Instagram page, but a little zoomorphic medieval dog swivel. Stunning. And there was hammers come up within the first sort of 10 minutes of them being out. And yeah, they always do well. They either find gold or they find something. So, did you see that angel clash that came up? I posted it on my group, that gold Henry VI, I think it was, came up. Stunning coin. So that was just the corner from my house here. And the story behind that was I'd just driven back from the Joan Allen shop through the night. And in the morning, Steve Shorters, who's my sort of detecting sidekick, he's from Detecting Where UK. You probably know Steve.
Yeah, I know him well.
Yeah, so he came round.
Stuff he does.
In fact, if Adrian stands up just a little bit, Steve Shorters.
Top guy. But he came round and he said, "Oh, you found?" I think I was fixing his car. I can't remember what we were doing. And I was tired. He said, "Shall we go and do some detecting?" And I was like, "Oh, mate, I can't be bothered." I said, what I wanted to do was go and lay on the sofa and just chill. And then Damo, one of the other guys, one of the other admins from the group, popped around, and then Steve said, "Let's go detecting." He said, "Well, I haven't got a detector." So I gave him, I said, "Just go and help yourself." And I think he took the Q60, went around the corner into one of Steve's permissions. So Damo turns up out the blue with no detector, detecting on one of Steve's permissions, got about 10 yards in from the gate and hit this this beautiful Angel class gold hammered. So Steve FaceTimes me, I'm lying on the sofa. And he says, "You'll never guess what Damo's just found." And I was like, "I don't know, what, a personality?" And then he pans the camera around and shows me this coin. Yeah. So you never quite know, do you? What's out there.
No.
But,
No, definitely not. I think finding anything is a bonus at the end of the day.
Something like that's a
Dave. You're right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm listening to you, gents, chatting about angels.
I didn't know if I had a bit of lag there, because if I had a bit of lag on here.
Occasionally, your blurry is better than your lag.
Yeah.
Your
Am I
face
still
is in
blurry?
sort of like, yeah.
I look really red. I don't know. Might go and jump in the pool in a minute, naked.
I dare you, right?
No,
Last thing of the show, bomb in the pool.
Yeah, has to be done.
You have to bomb in the pool before we finish. Double dare, physical challenge.
Yeah, I'll do it. No, I'll do that. Yeah. But
Tom said
Dave,
naked.
Dave, no petting. No petting in the pool.
Okay.
I'll do a bomb, but no petting. Yeah, I'll do that into the show. If anyone's watching, if anyone says anything in the comment. Should I do it naked? No.
It'd be quite amused if you actually hurt yourself bombing in, because everyone's gone to bed and we can't do anything from here.
No, you could. It could be a live drowning,
like a snuff video.
Yeah. Oh God. No, that will get us blocked on YouTube because you said that. Oh dear. No, I'll do a bomb. I'll do a bomb. Not getting the point.
You probably can't say bomb on YouTube either, can you?
Well, you can't say I'll do a bomb either, Adrian.
I haven't said shaft tonight either. I didn't talk about the shaft on the Q30 or the Equinox or anything.
Or the girth.
Yeah, I'll do a jump in. I'll wear the t-shirt though because it needs a wash.
And no, Keith, he hasn't got the special shorts. Sadly, they were out of stock, weren't they?
No. Yeah.
Steve does it. Yeah, he does a great job. Pretty much everything I wear that comes from Detecting Wear UK. I'm always flooding up saying, "Can you do me this? Can you do me that?" And it's great. He'll do it.
I'll tell you what.
He does do a lot of specials, doesn't he?
I paid for this. We buy stuff, me and you, don't we, Dave? We buy it, and it's really good quality, really good.
Yeah, and the actual sort of the print, not the actual how good the print is, but the sort of, he makes sure that people send him proper vector files so he can get real good sort of visual quality on it as well. And he's good. In fact, this is one of his the Joan Allen talk show.
Dave.
Get a free plug in there. That's starts next month.
Oh, brilliant! Have to keep our eye on that.
What's all that about?
So we've got a podcast coming out starting next month. So in fact, some guy is helping out. You might have heard of him, Chris Rogers. He's gonna join in and.
He's a poet, isn't he? I think he's a poet.
Yeah, I think. So I'll be hosting it, and Chris will be sort of frequently hosting. And then we're going to do specials as well. So we'll be on location. So those ones will be videoed, and then the other ones will be normal podcast audio only. But we've got some amazing guests lined up as well. So quite looking forward to it. It's going to be quite exciting. So that'll be out next month, the first episode.
Well, let us know, Tom, and we'll obviously plug that for you. No problem.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That'd be great. Just another excuse to sit and talk to like-minded people about detecting. And we'll be talking about pretty much the same as you guys. We'll be talking about new kit and and everything that goes with it. But I've got some interesting people. One of them actually who we're going to have on, he was an oceanographer who was sort of key to finding Henry VIII's ship that was brought up. So so there's history, but detecting and bits and bobs and
See,
everything.
your show will be a lot different to ours because there's only actually Adrian who knows what he's on about when it comes to detecting on our show. So you'll obviously have a lot more input from other metal detecting knowledgeable people.
That's nice you're doing a podcast, though, because when I'm driving to work, I listen to podcasts, and detecting ones are really good. So I might go and jump in the pool.
Well, you're going to have to, mate, because it's nearly that time to say goodnight. And I know it's like 2:15 in the morning there, isn't it?
Well, I don't know what time. Should I jump in?
Yeah, I think you have to.
People in the chat want me to jump in. If anyone says
yes, no 4 people have said yes.
I've got to take my headphones out now. Oh,
come on then. Come on.
2 people have said yes. All right, I'll go and
3.
jump in.
Come on. He's going to bang his head now, isn't he? He's going to bang his head and knock himself out.
And then we'll have to end the show because do we know what to rescue it?
There's just a pool of rad. What a nice shot. What a beautiful view. He's going to slip, isn't he, and not even make it to the pool.
Smash his face before he even gets there.
Can't hear you, Adrian. You're on mute. Let me try to mute him.
I think Boy Wonder's coming in as well.
I want some fancy backflip or something. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that'd be funny if he landed on him.
And he made it. He's not dead.
Hi, Adrian.
Can't hear anything. Hello.
You all right?
I look younger.
I know it's like the fountain of youth, isn't it?
Oh, gosh. Oh.
That cooled you down.
I can't hear
you. Cooled you down.
That's better. I can hear you now.
Cooled you down.
That's better. Thank you, Tom, for coming on the show. My hair
thanks for having
me. And I hope Chris can join us with you to talk about your podcast.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. I'm sure he'll be keen to come on once he gets everything sorted at his end.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, before you go, can you point people to your Facebook page, your Instagram, and your YouTube?
Yeah, so the Facebook page that we use, Hidden History Hunters, and it's the one with the Saltire and me and Old Digger Dog in the centre of it. And then YouTube is, again, Hidden History Hunters, Detecting Scotland. So same picture. So, yeah, come and look us up and see what we're doing.
And you mentioned Instagram earlier as well.
Same again. Hidden History Hunters, Detecting Scotland. Yeah. So
brilliant.
Simple.
Marvellous. Well, thank you for coming on. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it says at the bottom of the screen, sign up for our newsletter for free competitions, guest informations, and special offers at the www.bigdetectiveshow.com. Scroll down a little bit on the main page and you'll see all the information there, all GDPR, etc., etc. Excuse me. Next week's show, we've got Gary Cook coming on and John to tell us the final total for the Rodney Cook Memorial Month. Can we call it the month, Adrian? We can.
Yeah, weekend, one day. Yeah.
And also, we should be being joined by Gregory, name eludes me, from Spinks. I'm just waiting to hear back from him. They've got a big auction on next week with a gold coin itself, isn't it, Adrian?
Yeah. I'm cold, sorry.
So, don't forget, go over to the Big Detecting Show, sign up for the newsletter for all the information, competitions, free competitions, and guest information, etc., etc. Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure. Adrian, have a marvellous rest of the week. He's doing it again. He's going again. You going again? He's going again. And on that note, good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Night, Adrian.